Hello and welcome to another episode of Franklin and Douglas, where we talk current events and give you bad advice. I'm Franklin, and with me, as always, is my buddy Douglas. Double D, how's it going?
It's going, well, it's not great, but it's going great. I'll put on a good face.
Okay, yes, you've been struggling there for a minute, so we
Yes.
missed an episode last week.
Yes.
So, why don't you tell everybody how you feeling and what's going on?
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to take a week off due to health reasons. I somehow got an infection in a root canal that I had done it was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't even know that that could even happen, but here I am. And I was.
What happens when you don't brush your teeth? Call me yuck mouth.
Just gargle with some rum and go good for the day.
Yeah. No,
but yeah, the worst pain of my life. Worst pain of my life. Like I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but that was some fucked up shit. Basically.
Well,
so we had to take some time off because I couldn't even think.
Yeah, you were going through it. Well, I'm glad you are feeling better and are back to your talkative self. We've got a lot to uncover. I mean, within that week, California almost washed away. We had a tsunami warning. Last week we had a 7.0 earthquake off the coast there.
Like on the ocean, right?
Yeah. That towards a little higher up, like in sort of valleys and out towards the water, that triggered a tsunami warning. And so we had to evacuate. We had to close up shop at work because we're by the coast. I had to call all my drivers in, and we had a couple of drivers up towards that area where the earthquake happened, and they were freaking out.
Oh yeah.
So and then within a couple of hours, it was canceled and everything was okay. But that's like the first time since I was a kid when we had that huge earthquake. And was it, I think, the Loma Prieta. But this one was a tsunami warning. I was like, oh my God. So we had that. Now today we had a tornado warning. So like
in California.
California,
of all
right?
places.
Of all places. So today we woke up to tornado warnings. There's like 50-mile-an-hour winds. It's been pouring down rain like since 4 or 5 o'clock this morning. And so California is going through it right now. We might be an island.
What is that movie with The Rock that he's going to come swoop in and save y'all on a helicopter?
Oh, yeah. What was that movie called? But I remember that. Yeah, that's what I'm like. He's like, get to higher ground. I'm like, I'm up here, Rock. Get me. So
I can't go any higher.
I can't go any higher. No, so it's been a interesting couple of weeks here in California. It's still raining and windy out. So hopefully we make it. But like I say, California might be an island. You can come to the island.
Just think, like you could have beachfront property all around you. Instead on one coast.
Exactly. We could take what do you call it? Those ferries on California.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tsunami warnings and evacuations and all types of stuff. Like I say, tornadoes. It's been an eventful couple of weeks here. So, but we're back, and and I'm glad you're feeling better. The hair is looking nice and
little curly.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what happens when you get some moisture. Get some curl in it.
Moisturize. So it's also been an active couple of weeks in the news.
Oh my
goodness. And why don't you go ahead and jump into what you got today?
Oh, well, what do I got? So we thought we'd talk about the big news of the CEO of United Healthcare that was murdered in New York on December 4th. He was walking to a shareholder conference around 6:40 a.m. a man wearing a coat and like a face covering, a mask. I don't know if it was like a medical mask or like kind of like a scarf, I forget, but had a 3D printed like ghost gun with a silencer and just fired it from behind him. And
Assassination. He
yeah.
assassinated him on the streets of New York City.
Yep.
It was pretty interesting. Yeah, masked gunman. He was. I mean, it's been all over the news. You can't not see it. And
News,
they
social
were
media,
exactly
everywhere.
in everywhere, and they were seeing this guy, and then they obviously started looking for him. Anytime something like that happens, it's very someone lost their life, and obviously that's nothing to joke about. But the media hype that has been around this guy who did it.
Hmm.
Obviously, they were, trying to figure out what happened. The bullets that he had what was the saying on there? There was three words: defy, delay, and defend, or something like that on the
Yeah.
bullets. And so, it's been this whole entire thing. Well, they found him, and apparently, a he
Oh,
went to
it
McDonald's.
was a delay, denied, depose were the three
Yes,
words.
okay, so
Sorry.
he had something like that either, but he got caught, someone saw him, an employee actually at a McDonald's apparently saw him and turned
Hmm.
him in, and so now one, which is extremely fun, my what, ex, which is I can never like I don't like calling it X, I like it's Twitter. The
You're the one
former
that yelled at me for calling it Twitter.
I'm just saying.
I'm
So it's
gonna I'm
all
gonna
over
pull up
there.
to an old episode and cut that in right here. How its block
I'm
feature
sorry.
works.
Twitter is no longer Twitter. It's X.
Twitter
It's old.
/X.
It's only X.
Hmm.
But they're all over. So it's like, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, they're having this Twitter war
Yeah.
where they're like, he should have came here to Wendy's. We don't snitch.
Yeah.
So it's just going back and forth. So, but at any rate, they did find him, and his name is Luigi.
Hmm.
And
It
he
was my
is
favorite Mario
all
brother, by the way.
he's everyone's favorite.
I think. Oh
And
yeah, I do have a
so,
Luigi right there.
Luigi. So yeah, so he got caught, and he's all over the news, and he
So why
apparently
is he all
come
over the news though? Like,
because he's
yeah,
adorable.
I mean,
Oh,
he is a
he is.
conventionally good-looking guy.
He is, and he is from a wealthy family, apparently. His grandmother, left them millions,
Well, the family,
apparently.
they're like a big realty family in Baltimore,
Mhm.
and they own like was it country clubs and stuff like that. So very well off
Yes.
family.
Right, right, and so, but at any rate, she did put in her will, though, if anybody got in trouble, they wouldn't get any money, so Luigi's out.
Oh,
Doesn't get
really? I
anything.
didn't hear that.
Yeah, yes, uh-huh. Um,
Well, I
but
don't think
so this
Luigi's gonna have any use
any
for it.
problems. Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Well, and
Well,
it's yeah.
there's already everyone is like getting money together to help him, to defend him.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
So,
Well, GoFundMe took it down. Their one that they had, but there's another was like give something something.
right.
They are up to, I think last time I read they were up to like $50,000.
That's
But
crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's just a big whole thing. And obviously again, someone lost their life, but there is just so much hype behind him. And then there's also um some, social media things where they're putting up pictures of him saying, "Oh, my buddy Luigi came and helped me on December
Yes.
4th from 6 p.m. to," and they have him pictured with them, and it is just it's so lifelike and real. It is hilarious that people are actually defending this. This is the culture that we're in, and it's I mean it's again it's sad but funny at
Hmm.
the same time, that people are everything that you see, everybody is just like putting pictures up of him and all the social media that
There was
they
a TikTok that I watched the other day. It was like of an actual pizza shop. And they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, Luigi came in," and they like pan back to a guy making pizza, and he's wearing the green jacket and a face mask making pizza.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, Luigi's
Exactly.
been here making pizza the whole time." And you got,
The
like you
whole
said,
time.
people are like, "Yeah." And after he was done with his shift, like he was over at my house baking cookies. Like everyone was like accounting for every minute of the day.
Every minute of the day. Exactly. Yeah, so it's been pretty interesting, but,
Well,
kinda like the
go ahead.
no, I'll just say it's like, you know, we kind of just wanted to understand why he, you know, went this far or what, prompted him to do that. And so, I mean, I know there's been a lot of buzz around healthcare and everything. And
Hmm.
so, what are your thoughts on this whole entire thing of how it got here?
Well, so when he was caught, he was caught with like a 3-page handwritten manifesto. I guess there was
Mm,
also a like a spiral notebook that he pretty much kept as a diary. And this is all stuff coming from NYPD, PAPD, I guess. Um, but the they said that it was handwritten and that it showed notes of his frustration with the healthcare system in the U.S. I guess that there's friends and old roommates said that he recently this year had like this really big back surgery. There's pictures of his x-ray out, but this roommate also confirmed it too, that, you could see his spine and like these big screws in his back from whatever the
wow.
surgery was that he's had. So you kind of wonder if like his experience with that, and there's also rumors that I haven't like corroborated yet with actual news media sources, that his mom was also having some issues getting
Mm,
things approved through the healthcare system, and he pretty much kind of just went missing for the past 3-6 months, according to family. His mom filed a missing persons report in November with the SF Police Department,
mm.
looking for his whereabouts. So you kind of wonder, what happened within these months that kind of led up to this. Um,
What if he was on some very high pain pills or anything that might have kind of what sorted his thinking?
I mean, I was on pain pills this last week. I haven't murdered anybody yet.
Well, yeah, that we know of.
No, no, but
So,
I mean, totally different. I mean, his back surgery is more so than my issues. But
right.
like a lot of people, this is kind of like what we've been seeing, is that you don't really hear anything about the CEO that got murdered. Like, there's not a lot of news around him. It's mostly around Luigi. And
Right.
it's definitely telling of people's frustration with the US healthcare system, to the
Exactly.
point like they've made like a celebrity, a martyr out of this kid. Whereas, normal situations, people would probably, if he didn't kill like a big CEO or a billionaire, what have you, like we would have different news outlet or news reporting on
Yeah.
this.
Or where would we have even known about it if it was just, some random person? I mean, obviously it would be in the news that, uh,
In New
so
York.
yeah, that he was killed. But,
Not the whole US, but
exactly, exactly. You know, they, uh they need to have Olivia and Finn on this case, man, to
it wasn't a
to
sex crime.
you don't know. She doesn't just deal with sex crimes, she does a lot other stuff.
But
But
like, and he's not the only one. I mean, people don't take it to the extreme that he's taken it, but a lot of people sympathize with it, and that's where all this media has come in, and social media
right.
and everything. And, you start hearing stories about people's interactions with the healthcare system, about their claims
Mhm.
being denied, and,
Yeah,
people sharing stories about, where they're having to choose between groceries or getting a procedure to help them live, a comfortable life, save their life, choosing that
exactly.
between rent. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, this lady, just recently got, I think, either put in jail or whatever, because she went ahead and was, like, on the phone with her insurance company and said those words to them and
Yeah.
threatened them, and, now she's in jail. I got I have real bad shoulder pain, I had my shoulder dislocated inside a rotator cuff and stuff.
Hmm.
And so it got X-rays and everything. And my insurance company denied doing an MRI. They just told me to do physical therapy for for at least 6 months, right?
Huh.
So obviously, the physical therapy is good, and it's not. I don't say it's necessarily helping. Sometimes it feels like my arm is going to fall off,
Hmm.
uh, you know. But I mean, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in order to get the MRI or see how it's gonna, affect me.
Hmm.
And they're because again, I don't want surgery, but I just want my arm to feel better, my shoulder and everything. And so, yeah, I'm gonna do the things I need to do to get it back into shape and whatnot. But that comes with age as well because I hurt my shoulder years and years ago. But now
Well,
it's
it's when you played in the
coming back.
NFL, right?
Right, when I was on that running back. And so, but yeah, I can see, how frustrating that is. I'm like, what's the point? Why can't I just, do, get the surgery or, do what I need to do to get to that point? And they were like, no, we're going to have physical therapy first. And so that was a little frustrating for
Right.
me. But again, I didn't go out and kill the CEO of my insurance company, but I could see if it was something life threatening and life
Right.
changing, and people are, like, this is going to affect me or affect this person that I love, and they're getting denied these benefits. Because, like, what are we paying into this for if we can't even, you know,
Yeah.
get what we need? And you really and truly now have to really read through all your healthcare information like fine tooth. What
Hmm.
can't you do? What can you get? Um, and it's a lot of stuff that you can't do. And so I'm like, should I even, get health care? But then you get penalized if you don't have it. At
Right.
the end of the year, when you're doing your taxes and everything, they ask you. And if you don't have it, or if it's been suspended at some point in time, you get dinged for that.
Right.
You know, so it's a lot. It is a lot. And as you get older and you start thinking about things, this is when it really becomes an issue. Obviously, we never thought about it when we were younger. It's like,
Right.
okay. But now, all these aches and pains and, back issues and things like that. Yeah, I'm finding that I go to the doctor regularly and some things they're not approving, you know?
Yep.
So,
I mean, I've
um,
ran into with a medication that I was on, and they just out of the blue denied it. So then my
yeah,
doctor had to like make these cases for it and reapply, and
right,
finally got it again. But it's like, what happened that you denied it, but then reapproved it? And
right.
that is kind of like what this, because I actually have United Healthcare as my insurance provider.
I do as well. Right.
So, but there is a lawsuit that came out in November of 2023. It's a class action lawsuit, and its subsidiary Navi Health, that they were relying on computer algorithms or like AI to systematically deny claims. I mean, this
Mhm.
case is still going on, so I guess the details, are still not finalized or ruled on, but they were systematically denying claims for Medicare beneficiary nursing homes. Um,
Mm,
and that's the same insurance company. So it's like, well, was my thing denied because of AI or because someone was actually reading it?
exactly. I mean, obviously, they have millions and millions of clients, people but again, yeah, did it go through AI to get denied? And I mean, AI is something that is huge now. Everything that is going through, uh, you know, systems and conversations and everything is
Hmm.
AI generated. Um, and so now I think back now to Terminator, Skynet is going to be taken over at some point, and being everything. Now I'm going to have to call Arnold Schwarzenegger to help us save.
Is that the reason for the Matrix background that you've got going on there?
Exactly, because it all entwined. So yeah, it's sad that someone lost their life, and here we are. But yeah, we'll see how they're already talking about the movie of the week.
Oh yeah.
Uh, making a movie of this and whatnot. So we're gonna see a whole bunch of this. 2024 is going out with a bang.
Well, I don't know if you saw too, like companies being affected. So you mentioned about the McDonald's worker that
Mm-hmm.
had called into 911. So there was a lot of rumors out there, or social media postings about how that person wasn't going to get the reward. Things I've
Mm-hmm.
been reading today is that, because they say in those rewards up to 60,000 or up to
Right, right.
50,000. So apparently, this person that from McDonald's may still get the reward. They may not get the whole thing because there's also other tips that were called in. So they kind of spread these out amongst all the
Oh,
people.
right,
And
right.
there's like a whole committee that has to like vote on it and everything. So, a lot of people are out there like, okay, the snitch at McDonald's did all this and they're not going to get the money. But this
Exactly.
this apparent McDonald's has been getting a lot of review bombing and like hate sent to
Exactly.
them, and then
You have
even
1-star reviews.
right,
It's gonna probably have to close down.
right,
Everybody's gonna lose their job for it. Exactly, and, yeah, I heard about the reward as well, and I heard that they weren't gonna get it because they called 911 when they were supposed to call the tip line.
right.
I don't know. It was just crazy all around, and I was like, "Dang, Luigi, really? You went to McDonald's for a Happy Meal and got busted?"
I think it was a hash brown too. Got busted
It was
munching on a hash brown. It's like, bro, come on, splurge a
Oh
little.
my god. Exactly, but,
There was also another company affected was the backpack that he was wearing. It
mhm,
was apparently a company designed it called Peak Design Backpack, and
okay.
the CEO Peter During had made a or did like a interview or spoke with New York Times, but said that he reached out to that the police he reached out to the police because he was getting text messages of people sending him images of the backpack like, hey, isn't this yours? And so he called, I guess, the police and said, hey, this is that backpack. And he's telling New York Times that's it. Well, social media blew up around this guy and his company and said that he actually told the police who bought it, the serial number off the backpack, and that. So he's had to go back to what was it? It was like Axios or Verge. So
Uh-huh.
he had to do a statement with Verge to say that he would not give out customer information without a subpoena, which is what a lot of people's fears were, that companies are just giving out there, which companies probably are giving out your information, but
Of course they are.
but he is like having to freak out and do like save face because now social media is all on him and his
Uh,
company. So I mean,
company's
again,
downhill.
it kind of goes back to that. Everyone, this kind of united the country that everyone hates the healthcare
And and
system,
no, united the country for a killer.
right? But that everyone has
Exactly.
a common hate for the healthcare system, and
Yeah,
like they're willing to review bomb companies and everything to kind of like kind of
support
live
it.
out their fantasy of sticking it to these big
Sticking it to the
corporations.
man.
Right, right.
Exactly. I mean, for the backpack, I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, I guess. I mean, if that's the case, who made the jacket? Who made the face mask? Who made all of this stuff? Who the gun? No one's talking about that. Who made the gun?
Well, the
How did he
gun
get all
was
that?
3D printed, but yeah, like how did he acquire this 3D printed gun?
Right, right.
But I don't know,
So
if I was a CEO of like the backpack or the jacket or the mask, whatever, I wouldn't be going to the news like, oh yeah, I called the police and said it was ours. Like,
I wouldn't have said
bro,
nothing. I was like, oh
yeah,
well, yeah,
read the
right,
room, dude, read the room.
right. And then also, what I think also isn't really talked about, why is this CEO just walking down the street by himself? Wouldn't somebody of that caliber have security? I
I don't
mean,
know.
what? I mean, I would. You're just, walking down the streets of New York City by yourself. He's a multimillionaire of a company. Why wouldn't he have like a bodyguard or something with him?
Because they feel untouchable.
Well, he got touched.
Well, and I don't know if you heard about this too, but you had other CEOs of these healthcare groups We're
Right.
also removing their pages from their websites.
Removing their pictures
Right.
of everything.
And
Exactly.
it's
They're like,
like, it's the internet. It's already out there. Like,
it's already out there. We know what you look like.
right.
I got your LinkedIn profile. So
Yep.
yeah, that's crazy. But I just thought that was very, very weird. I guess I don't know if people walk around with personal bodyguards that are, my boy Elon, he has like an army behind him.
Ugh.
Bulletproof cars and everything.
That rust in the rain. Yeah. That's a whole
You
nother
have to
episode.
you have to read the instructional manual.
Don't
Tells
take
you
your car
exactly
outside.
it tells you exactly what to do. Goodness. So, but yeah, I would just think, I couldn't see somebody of that caliber, just walking around on the street, going to the store, going to their Whole Foods and just, shopping without security.
Well, they're not.
Um,
They're not going to be going out without security now, because now they're
exactly,
all freaking out.
exactly. So, yeah,
Me-
that's it's been very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Like I say, again, we want to, mention that someone did lose their life, and that's, unfortunate.
Yeah.
And we definitely hope that his family is doing okay. Both families are affected by this,
Right.
because now they're all in the news and whatnot. But very interesting how um, the world is reacting to this, and it's crazy how it's blowing up. So
Well, we'll
uh,
see if these healthcare companies make any changes
changes,
or
no, they're
adjustments
not.
to the way they do things, because they're seeing how the world is reacting to this, and they're seeing people's comments. So,
If it for them, they're about making money, and it doesn't make it. If it doesn't make them money,
which is
they're
insane.
not good. Yeah, they're not going to. Just it costs a lot to do anything and everything. But that's crazy. It goes back to what we were talking about before, that some countries have free health care.
Yeah.
Here in America, we're dying and have to pay all this money for health care, and then they're denying our claim
Right.
and everything. And it's crazy. It's like, okay, so what are we doing here? Here, yeah, it is. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, it's been an eventful couple of weeks watching the news and what. So
For real.
we'll see. Maybe Luigi will write into us from some advice, and we can give him
I'd put Luigi on the show. Hell yeah.
exactly. That'd be our first interview.
It's a me, Mario.
Luigi. Oh man. Did you have any advice, anything that came in that you wanted to go over?
Yeah, let's give out some advice. Let's pick this up a little bit. So, as always, we want to remind our audience that we are not trained professionals and our advice should not be taken seriously. But what
Yes.
qualifications do we have, Franklin?
We survived the Castros 2-for-1 night and didn't get kidnapped by Luigi in that van. And we can give you the guidance you need to survive.
True that. So today we're going to be pulling our questions from Reddit's advice category and the Am I the Asshole category. If
Because
you'd
you
like,
are.
all the time, every time. If you'd like us to answer your request for advice, please DM us on our socials or comment. Maybe your question will appear on our next episode. So the
Slide
first
into that.
one is from the Am I the Asshole category. And they're saying, Am I the asshole for getting upset because my husband bought a female friend a sex toy as a gag gift? Right? So going on. So me, a 28-year-old female, has been with my husband, a 28-year-old male, for about 3.5 years, married for 1 year. He always had a sexual sense of humor, but due to issues we had in the past, particularly when he would say how he thinks about cheating on me, or thinks he would say, or I'm sorry, how he thinks about cheating on me, or thinks about leaving me to slut around, quote unquote, he got on medication, and that hypersexual side of his had calmed down a lot. And due to these issues, I had told him to stop talking sexually in general, not about having sex with each other, to one of his friends because he told me in the past that if he hadn't gotten together with him, he would have tried dating her. So she's saying that, and he said in the past that if the two of them didn't get together, he would have tried dating this coworker. So he has a coworker who's a married woman, and apparently they started talking about sex toys and stuff. Apparently they both are filthy minded and make jokes about sex stuff like that. I normally wouldn't care as long as it's friendly and not in a what would I do with you kind of way. So he got her a Secret Santa this year, and he told me he got her a normal gift for the office and a gift for at home. When I asked what he meant, he told me he got her a large dildo, too big to be used dildo, as a gag gift, and started laughing. I said immediately, "You bought a dildo for another girl?" And he immediately stopped laughing and said, "What do you mean by that?" I told him, "You know how this looks, right?" He got really awkward and said he didn't think of it like that, and that I know that this was his sense of humor. I just said it felt way too intimate of a gift. Talking about it is one thing, but giving her something like that is entirely different. He said he'll return it because he respects me, then said that he's always had this kind of humor and that he even bought a dildo in the past before we started dating, a too big to use dildo. I said that doesn't mean anything because he liked me back then too. He got quiet and just kept repeating this sucks over and over. Am I being the asshole here?
No, you're not being the asshole. I think that, yeah, that kind of crosses the line. You buying a dildo, regardless of size or whatnot, for another woman, and you're married. Um, that's for him. Clearly, he has something going on with himself. If he has to be on medication because he thinks about sex too much, isn't that a sex addict? He needs to go to AA, Addicts Anonymous, or something like that. But
SAA.
yeah, that's a so. I think that was inappropriate for him to do. And no, she's not an asshole for feeling that way. I think that he, yeah, he needs some help there. But no, hopefully their marriage will survive these little twists and turns. But and for the chick who he got it for, she needs to stop having these conversations. Now she's the asshole because she's having these conversations with this guy and they're going back and forth. She's married as well, right?
um,
I
yeah,
think she's,
yeah.
yeah.
Who's
So
a
it's like,
married woman,
yeah. I mean, people joke around like my work husband or my work wife
right?
and whatnot, but that's going a little bit too far. You're buying sex toys for them, and when they use it, are they supposed to think about you? Mm-hmm.
Well, it's too big to use, quote unquote. So
Never.
I don't, I mean, so going back to this is a married woman that he's bought this for. What does her
Right.
husband think about all of this?
That's what I'm
Like
saying.
when she brings this
Exactly.
dildo home, like what's her husband going to say?
They might as well all just get together and, work it out.
I
Have a
mean,
little
can
pineapple
you,
party.
oh yeah, a pineapple dildo party.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine the HR at this workplace?
Exactly. Clearly, there is no HR.
No, maybe they are HR.
Oh, yeah. So, no, girl, you are not the asshole. Tell your man to get his shit together, and if not, pick up and leave. Only been 3 years. Pick up and leave.
True that.
Start anew. Yeah.
I think he's cheating on her, wants to cheat on her, but yeah, I
That
don't.
is cheating. It is cheating.
Yeah,
He's thinking about it. He got somebody a dildo.
a deal
That's
though.
a dildo. Leo.
uh, all right. Well, let's move on to the next one here. So,
Okay.
this one is from the advice category, and it says roommate help, personal space issue.
Mm.
They go on to say, I have a friend who has turned into a roommate. We're about 15 years different in age. I am older. I have my own house, and he was in a rough spot, so I decided to help him reluctantly after being completely used by my previous roommate, who was my friend, quote unquote, for over 15 years. How do I start the conversation of needing personal space? This recently started becoming an issue to me because he says that he doesn't like to do things alone. That's when I decided that things need to change. He has a very codependent way about him, which is fine to an extent, but now it's becoming like I'm constantly trying to help him through his anxiety or be his emotional support friend slash roommate. I can't live like that. I don't mind, but it's becoming too much. My house isn't that big, but it's not that small either. I have no problem with being in common areas with him. Maybe the problem is just me because I feel like I want to say things through text or audio messages to whoever I'm talking to at the time, but I don't want him all up in my conversation listening. Am I being unreasonable? I don't think I am, but he doesn't understand it. I don't want to hurt his feelings. I'm a very blunt person. This is why I haven't said much yet.
Girl, tell him to leave.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think that's one of the things. I've had a roommate once before, and thankfully we worked opposite schedules,
Mhm.
and we got along, really well. But sometimes you just need your personal space,
Mhm.
especially if you want to be out in the common area, if you're on a date or whatnot. And I would respect that and be in my room or whatnot, or go out and do something else. But
Right.
um, no, it was never just sitting up under somebody. What you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
What are we watching? It's never like that because again, I like my personal space, and it's about, voicing it to somebody, and especially if that's your house, you need to set the boundary, set the rule, saying, "Hey, I I'm here for you if you need the support, but 24/7, you're gonna need paid support,
Right.
and I'm not that."
Right.
And if you can't get that help, I mean, by all means, I'm not trying to look, I'm not trying to be the asshole, but this isn't going to work. You're not gonna be all up in my space. If she can't have conversations on the phone or, whatnot with somebody not hovering over them,
Yeah.
yeah, she's she's not that direct then. She needs to speak up
Yeah.
and let them know, "Hey, if you can't, work through this or you can't, um, give me my space, you're gonna have to leave, unfortunately." So, yeah, that's crazy. That doesn't sound healthy at all for either person.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, I've had situations where I've had friends, close friends as roommates. And, everyone, no one was like codependent on each other. Like, yeah, we hung out and that kind of thing, even though, we were living together, we'd go out, that kind of thing. But, when it became to a point like me and this one friend, we worked at the same company. Uh, our boss gave us the same exact schedule. We carpooled in together, we carpooled out together, and we were with each other 24/7. And that definitely got on both of us and made us like not want to be around each other. So
right.
and like we thought that early and we had things fixed, and we're still friends to this day. But it sounds like they definitely need to have a conversation with this person because if they, I mean, it doesn't sound like they really are that great of friends, but they're going to ruin their friendship if it keeps going because this person's just going to start building more and more resentment towards the other person. And if they don't have that conversation, it's going to end pretty
Right.
badly.
Exactly. That's kinda crazy, so, well, good
Hmm.
luck to them.
Yeah,
Pack their
true that.
bags. Pack the bags. Ooh.
Well, that's all that I had. So
Okay. Well, it was good. I'm glad you're feeling better,
thank
and,
you.
wish me luck. Hopefully, I don't get blown away in the tornado or the tsunami.
Hopefully, The Rock
Yeah.
swoops in on his helicopter and saves you.
Get to higher ground, babe.
But
So,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
Yep.
thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, sharing. We greatly appreciate it. We're hoping going into the new year here in a couple weeks, we'll be able to continue to grow our podcast and audience. So, and that's thanks to all your comments and that. So we appreciate it.
Right. Take care, and you have a good rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.